he has to pay more respect to a big, tall marking option. I think it's a bit of a formula they're trying to work through for Fletcher at the moment.
Umpire to get it underway. Simon Meredith puts it on the turf. Griffin and Hill clash in the middle. Crowley got the clearance. Banged it on the boots to half-foot. Pavlich. Good mark within his range.
What a great start. We just mentioned those contested marks last week or 2 weeks ago against the Tigers. 3 of them, 6 goals, 9 in his last 2. This will be a dream start. Crowley started on Watson in the middle. Stanton was forward. Mazungu was going to him.
Pavlich just removing the shorts. So got caught up there, and here he is directly in front. We'll have to kick at 55. We're right behind him, riding this one home. Looks damn good. It is Pavlich and Fremantle. Great start. Crowd of purple, just get going, Das.
Oh, what a great start for the Dockers. He's in great form, and what an asset it is. When he gets hold of the footy anywhere inside 60, you know distance is going to be an issue. Such a beautiful kick. Great confidence, big frame in front. Richo, couldn't have been a better start for the Dockers.
Yeah, 6-1 in his last outing, and if he gets a shot inside 50, he is a beautiful kick. It's one of the most fluent kicking actions you'll see, but this is the big thing for me, getting back to some contested marking. Matthew Pavlich, he's been playing more midfield, hasn't been doing it a lot this season. That's a great start.
Matthew Pavlich, the superstar, as I said, game 265 for him. Sorry, 268 for him. A magnificent player, back in the middle. Hill back in the side for the Bombers. Bell-Chambers, strangely left out of this side. Talk about that a little later on. Jetta, handball over the top, got it out Hocking. Dempsey was just trying to spend it before he'd actually won it. McPhee worries him out of it. In there is Main. Watson. Nice handball, finding some space. Good opportunity here. Hibberd inside, mark taken by Hurley on the lead.
I love the way that Hibberd took the space that was available there. He really sliced his way through some traffic and just opened up and demanded that Hurley lead into that spot. It was brilliant. Look at this. Saw a bit of a gap and ran through 3 or 4 Dockers, and Hurley had no choice but to come at him. Great start, and he needs a goal too for his confidence as well.
It was great that he kept his eyes down. He lowered his eyes, he didn't blaze away, and he saw Hurley leading straight up the middle.
1 goal 5 since returning in round 8, Michael Hurley, but this one adds to the goal tally.
A big start for Michael Hurley also. He's been a little bit out of form of recent weeks. What he does is really, really good, but just hasn't been getting his hands on the footy enough. So, terrific start for Michael Hurley.
I think we're unanimous in our respect and admiration for what this man can do as a game-breaking player. Just hasn't quite been able to get the job done in the last few weeks. BT pointed out 1 goal 5. Perfect start tonight, though, for Hurley.
In the middle of the ground we go. Opportunity here for the Bombers to clear it. De Boer is angry, and so is Mundy. They lock it in.
I like De Boer around the footy, which shows a really powerful, nuggety, low centre of gravity player. Probably had his best game ever last up against Richmond.
Had 13 tackles last week. If you've got a midfielder doing that hard work as well, and he got plenty of the footy, good signs for Fremantle.
Howlett on Monday, wearing him like a glove as well. At the back door, Dempsey, Heppel and Jetta. Back to Dempsey on the wing, can run it. Like it in the hands of Jetta. That's a risky one. Put Heppel under enormous pressure. Turnover complete there. Ibbotson involved. Couldn't handle it. That's a high tackle on McFarlane.
It's a big duck of the head from Luke McFarlane. I reckon he got away with one there. Umpire, it was high contact, but my initial instinct was that when you crouch down, you give away that opportunity.
You still have to tackle them correctly, even if they do attempt to duck. You are allowed to duck in our game, Das, as you would have well known, because you're a bit of a ducky yourself, aren't you?
From time to time.
Just joking. Ball goes forward. Mark taken by Jakey Carlisle. Is out of the Calder Cannons outfit, and they prepare them for the big time there. Hibberd, short little ball to Stanton.
And there's Mazungu on the mark. Stanton started at half forward. Mazungu's definitely tagging him, so a couple of tags for the Dockers.
Stanton goes looking for Crammery. Strong hands in front of Johnson. A little bit too far out for him, though, I reckon.
Hasn't kicked a goal in his last 2 outings. Stewie Crammery, we know how well he started the year.
He was very good prior to that, wasn't he? Sends this one high to the square. They set themselves for the market. They fly. Ryder almost had it. Hill's got it. Look at the 5 Fremantle players attacked him all at once. It was good stuff. But Monfries ends up with it. Now, he is a right-to-left bender of the ball. He has a little bit of a hook about his kicking.
Well, there's the duck as he took possession. Now, you are allowed to duck, but my understanding is then you give away the right for a free kick. But
slipping over Darst. Gee, you're a hard man.
harsh but fair.
Monfries, 45 metres out. Kick on the way. Little left. Got it. A goal up the Bombers.
Good forward pressure there for the Bombers, and they'll enjoy the fact that they were able to turn the footy over. Monfries, the beneficiary, found himself in the right spot. A great presence on a football field is Joe Watson. 90 centimetres Joe Watson stands. It's just
taller than you think, isn't he?
Incredible.
Oh yeah, Angus Monfries enjoyed that one, and the Bombers consecutive goals here to lead it by a goal. Angus Monfries back in the middle. Jordan Bannister, the umpire out there. He has been umpiring fantastically this year, the former Essendon player. I wonder how he'll feel about umpiring his old mob out here. Here's Pavlich, was being held. The umpire wanted nothing of it, fed it out. Barlow, who's been in some good recent form as well. The hands by young Crozier. Got it to De Boer. He's tackled with the ground there by Cramery. Ball spills loose. They go forward, Fremantle momentarily. But in the end, it'll be whipped away here by Reimers. He goes wide, Ryder.
Looking strong in the air early. Ryder, Cramery and Hurley have all had a mark. There's Hurley again, so the forwards have started well.
Goes wide, looking for Hill. He took his eyes off the ball, and in the corner, Stanton did the old duck around the back and didn't quite work for him.
Michael Hurley just put his hand up there and apologised to David Hill, but David Hill led into a spot in the ground where it was impossible to kick the footy. He's just come back into the side. You've got to get your running patterns back. You needed to double back and get into the dangerous spot, and Hurley could have put it in the right area for him.
Ryder trying to reach over the back. Watson got a piece of danger here for the Dockers. Clever knock on by Jeddah. Around the corner, Monfries likes these. Needs to bend it. He's got it. 3 in a row for the Bombers.
What about Joe Watson? Just his strength, capacity to push hard through the stoppage there. And set up little Gussie Monfries. Good start for him. Couple early into the first term. Good contested game, this one already.
Well, that's just classic Joe Watson. Getting the ball out of a tight situation. Smart play by Jeddah to knock it onto Monfries. And they've started well, the Bombers, but Fremantle, this is a real problem for them. They've only won 2 first quarters this year, and they're getting overrun early.
Gee, it was good play by Jeddah, wasn't it? That deft little tap. Bombers go forward again, off hands, beautifully rowed to Olio, to 50, lines it up to make it 4 in a row. Misses for the Bomber, and Jeddah says to him, come on, I was on.
Brilliant contest from Cramery. Brilliant front and centre from Dolio. It's perfect play. It's all you want from your forward. Just the finish wasn't quite there.
Look at that. Now, you're kicking into that, Darsh, and you've got to find someone there. It's a brave man to kick it in amongst that, isn't it?
Not an easy job, is it?
They almost did a little bit of a huddle there, Darce, I reckon, the Dockers.
Great pitches there as Barlow flies. Mundy's caught with the ball. He could do little to get rid of it. In the end, he was able to tunnel ball it out. In goes to Olio. Rowley and Barlow make sure he proceeds no further.
This is what Essendon has been able to do so well all year. They're #1 in the comp for time in their forward half of the ground, plus 9 minutes 38, which is a massive stat. They just want to lock the ball in their forward half of the ground, great pressure, and score off the back of it.
Ryder knocked down. In amongst it there is Myers. There's Mundy, really important to the form of the Fremantle Dockers. Pavlich flies. Lingy, you've had a bit of a chance to have a look at the matchups down there. The boys up here have had their say. What do you think of them so far?
Oh, I don't mind. I still see Joe Watson as being the most important midfielder at Essendon. He's just so good. I think Crowley needs to get on top of him. He can't be feeding the ball out to the Essendon runners. Brett Stanton, as you boys have mentioned, is very dangerous on the outside, but Watson's the man who feeds them constantly.
Free kick will go Fremantle's way here.
Well, they just need to steady and get their hands on the footy for a... Well, that's not the way to do it.
Lower, miss kick, gobbled up by Remus to Jeddah. He's got an outside runner in Stanton, but Stanton didn't keep going. McPhee was blocking, kick is wide to Hurley. Too far out to score for Hurley. Goes into the pocket, Cramery, good hands. Beats Silvani to the ball, and I think Ross may be thinking about making a change there.
Yeah, the term coach killer comes to mind with those ones, 10-metre passes across the face of goal that are turned over. And we just saw Michael Hurley. I love the way that he moves the footy on. Great turnaround. His kick to Cramery was beautiful.
There's our Toyota Fango question. Can Cramery and Hurley get back on the scoreboard tonight? Well, they've started beautifully.
Well, Hurley has, and here's the second part of it, Richo. Cramery just sprays it across, and in fact, out of bounds on the full, it hit the top of the behind post.
Well, I think the thing with Hurley is we all love what we see from him. He'll take a big mark, he'll lay a big bump, but just haven't seen enough of it. Already 3 marks on the lead tonight. His work rate's up, he's sitting up with the football, and you're going to have a good night as a forward if you keep presenting like that.
I think you made a really good point here about Essendon's capacity to lock the footy inside their forward half of the ground. It's relevant every time you play, but particularly at Subiaco, with such big space, if you're able to keep it here, and so far, there you go, time in the forward half of the ground, it's just absolute domination there for the Bombers. Freo
have lost 3 of the last 4 games they've played at this home venue, so it hasn't been exactly a fortress in recent time for them like it has been the Eagles. There's Main, thought about Pavlich, knew he was closely monitored. Crowley's kick needs to be perfection, and it is. Magnificent little mark taken by Hayden Crozier. I've got something to tell you about this young man later on in the game. I've got a few little bits on him, found out a bit of info on him. Want to see him get the ball a little bit more. Pavlich one out, Main off hands. Did well to bust them open there, Hardingham. The boy from Cogen up here in Western Australia. Picked up in the end, flying shot at goal by Crichton, I think it was. And across the face for a minor.
Boys, just quickly, David Mundy getting a little bit of work on the bench for the Fremantle Dockers on his lower right leg, and we know he missed quite a bit of last season with a leg injury. He looks fine, he's walking okay with a little bit of a limp, but he's getting a bit of attention from the doctors, so I'll keep an eye on that one for you guys.
Nice work, Lingy. The old man Fletcher kicks out wide. Zach Clark into the side. Sandilands out, injured indefinitely. Little ball by Howlett, coming a long way up Hurley. Monfries looking very, very good early in the game here as well. Searching forward, looking for Remus. Just got the standard white boots on today, Remus. Matty Lloyd, when he was there, didn't want him to wear coloured boots and put an end to it, and Kyle was very disappointed.
Was it Matty Lloyd or was it James Hird?
It might have been James Hird, actually.
I don't think Hird, he liked the coloured football boots.
Well, he was the purple-booted man there for a while. It was Kyle Remus, and just had to straighten his mind up a bit. There's Hill. Crichton in there, tagged off the ball. Clark got it forward. Down low was Broughton, went hard, got it, superb play. Out of the loop, Fremantle, bang open forward line. Pavlich the race back with Hooker. Pavlich and Hooker going at it. Can he turn him around again? Pavlich, Hooker, Pavlich. The troops arrive. Pav did well, got it to Main. And now Fletcher's got to deal with him as well. Good play in the end. The pressure. Barlow could have gone to the left. And Main will run to the open goal. Well done, Matthew Pavlich.
Oh, that was good persistence by the Fremantle Dockers. Matthew Pavlich running back into an open goal and an uncharacteristic fumble. It was good pressure by Hooker, but they stuck at their task and end up getting an easy goal. Chris Main, he's good for a goal a week at the moment. Seems to be able to get on the scoreboard every week consistently.
Broughton sliding in hard and under. It was a brilliant contest as the kick came in. Like the look of this young man already, Hayden Crozier. Pavlich gets back. He had a half a fumble, but brilliant the way he kept his feet, kept the ball moving, made sure that the contest was there, slid back in and was able to set up the goal for Mundy.
Crowley Mzungu there. Fancy Pierce. Through, bang. Carlisle had the feet taken from under him. And a real good old hip and shoulder from Broughton. Shaky. Carlisle just about split in half. Have a look at this. Bang. Got him. Nicely done for the Dockers, who look switched on to me, Das.
Yeah, both sides do. Really hard contest to win at the moment. You can see the pressure around the footy. Both sides have come really understanding how big this one is tonight.
Gee, they're hitting up at the football hard, the Essendon forwards. It opens up space behind, but can't bomb it in.
Gee, had to stand, and Wade Ibbotson did it bravely. Now Subin from half back to half forward. Pavlich causing trouble up there already. He's got a runner inside. Crowley decides to shepherd. Thought about the handball. Watson had him covered, and he had no other helpers there, Pavlich.
Gee, it's a fast game, isn't it? It's just end-to-end stuff at the moment. Neither team can lock down the other.
Melksham ran into a brick wall. Gave it to Hooker. Crichton. I think that's nearly a mullet out there for Crichton.
That is a magnificent mullet, BT. I was waiting for you to pick it up.
It's the permed mullet. Boy, get a look at that later.
That's something out of Death Leopard about 1987, that one.
Watson, horrible. De Boer, able to get hold of it, drive it forward for Freo. Pav 1-on-2 again. In fact, it was Clark. Off hands, looking for the easy one, Neil. Kept it alive. Clark now, centering ball. Myers has got to go. Mzungu was there, picked up by Mundy. Just wanted the right foot little banana and missed it.
Jesse Crichton with one of the great mullets. I'm just looking up his background. He's from Tasmania, Richard, so that explains a little bit of it.
I've never seen a mullet-beard combination like that.
Unbelievable.
That needs some answering. There is Mundy. Head over the ball. Jesse Crichton, what are you thinking? De Boer tackled aggressively by Stanton. Good game this. Fantastic. Melksham. Hard as a cat's head, as Spud would say. Out wide, ball to Cramery. Hurt his finger, might have dislocated it. He's worried about it. I reckon he'll come straight off. He looks at his hand now. You can just see him at the bottom of the screen. In the meantime, McFarlane and Subin are away.
Geez, the speed of this game and the fierceness of the contest, it's something to behold. I hope the pitchers back in your living room are giving the absolute benefit of what we're seeing here. Both sides are going super hard.
Yeah, spot on, Dusty. The first time for the night, Freo have been able to maintain possession with 2 or 3 marks in a row. They only had 4 marks. Now they're up to 7. That's just shows you the pressure Essendon are putting on them.
Kick back up into the Fremantle forward line. Watson. In there, couldn't get it out. A lot of players around the ball here at the moment. And Mundy, I think it was. No, it was Crichton, the mullet that was taken to the ground. I was just about to call him the rug. There's Silvani back in the side. Just his second game, I think, this year, Silvani.
Yeah, Freo, this is just get a little bit of structure about them at the moment. They haven't been able to get it on their terms at all.
Played round 9, Silvani. Emergency 5 times. Mzungu, Richo, here he is. Look at that for a great little grab.
That is
sensational stuff by my man. Crozier from 55 metres out. Kicks long. Clark takes the mark and will line up for goal. Crozier doing great things.
I'll tell you what, BT, your man, if we get another look at his mark at some point, that was a strong and overhead mark with heaps of pressure on from behind that you'll see. That was great.
The boys say he can grate Parmesan cheese on his abs. He's so well tickled and treaded. So hard. They're like metal. Zach Clark comes in, kick on the way, has got it. Fremantle look damn good here.
Nice clunk there from Big Zach. And I like the idea of the big boys going down and playing on Dustin Fletcher.
Well, Zach Clark, he's really taking Dustin Fletcher right back to the goal line, and that's a great move because that doesn't allow Fletcher to intercept Mark. We know he's so good at that.
Here's Zach Clark in the goal square, and we saw a couple of weeks ago Sydney played Mumford and they played the big Canadian Mike Pike deep in the goal square. I reckon Fletcher loves playing on smalls. Doesn't have to worry about them in the air. He's quick enough to go with the smalls, but the tools, he just has to pay that little bit more respect to. And they've had a little win so far for Fremantle with the goal to Clark.
To remove the ball out of the middle through Myers. I agree with you, Das. Both teams really switched on here at the moment.
Boys, you touched on how quick the game is. Well, just to back that up, the interchange benches have just been revolving doors. People flying on and off the ground. A lot of people already getting work on their calves and getting massages. That's how fast it is.
Barlow to Mazungu. Barlow had 30 touches last week, back in form. Here's the win for Fletcher on this occasion against Clark. Kick a long time in the air, beautifully protected by Myers. Kept it away from Mundy. The umpire said he's on, so now it's a dead-on rip to win the ball. Not sure what that free was paid for by umpire Jordan Bannister. As Mundy goes in there looking for Clark. Ball knocked away at the back. Main gets a good look. Bent it a little too much. Almost a mark in the square there. In the end, tidying it up is Hibberd. And that one's out of bounds on the full, so the pressure will stay against the Bombers. Short ball and Barlow.
Oh, this is really good by the Dockers. They've absorbed that early pressure from the Bombers. They come out full of running. Just having a look here, the play on. Yeah, he did step. Gee, it was harsh, but
Tough, Richo.
yeah, might have taken one step off the line, but
Reckon he was a bit disoriented then.
It's a bit like last night with Adam Goods.
Tough kick for Barlow. As Barlow comes in, that's damn well done. A little bit of left to right about it. 3 in a row for Freo. Nice goal from the boy out of Assumption College. Michael Barlow back in form, Das, now.
He's an easy player to admire, Michael Barlow, isn't he? I love the way he works so hard. Just continues to run at a better than even pace. Horrific broken leg that he suffered about 18 months ago. To come back at the shape he's in, it's been great. I'm a massive fan of this man, Michael Barlow. Beautiful kick. You know what I liked about it? He actually thought he could kick it, went back, didn't deviate from the action. Such an admirable player coming back from a horrific broken leg. Brilliant, brilliant effort there from Barlow.
Freo with the last 5 inside 50s in this game, dominating 3 goals from those 5 insides. McPhee to Barlow. Melksham there as well. Arriving first. Great handball, Broughton. Had to turn around Barlow. Kick inside, cut off. Fletcher.
Well, Freo just been a little bit harder in the last 5 minutes. They're winning the contested possessions, and it's just because they've got midfielders like Barlow, Mazungu, De Boer. They're all pretty honest players. You know what you're going to get from them. Crowley as well.
Myers through the middle of the ground, long ball, 2-on-1. Silvani getting back to help against Cranberry for McFarlane. It was really well done by Silvani. He'll be fighting for survival in this team. Hurley pursued by Johnson. Crunching tackle by Ibbotson, too high, I think. Might have got him over the shoulder, and he has.
Yeah, you can just see last effort there from Ibbotson, just slid over the shoulder. And Hurley's aggression there has drawn a fair bit of heat and earned himself a free kick.
To stop the run of 3 goals in a row for the Dockers, Hurley will have to kick his second and the Bombers 4th. To tie it up, cracking first quarter here at Patterson's. 20 metres out, the ball drop just needs to be good. It is very good, and the Bombers draw level.
Oh, it's a ripping game of footy we're watching here so far. Essendon came out of the blocks really hard, got away to a couple of goal lead. Freo then kicked the next 3, and a good steadier there from Michael Hurley. What I liked about that from Hurley was just his persistence to keep back at the football. If your key forwards are doing that, you know you're in for a pretty good night. And there's Jobe Watson talking to his young forward line.
Michael Hurley there, a couple of goals, both teams 3 straight from set shots here tonight in front of goal. So goal kicking from a set shot position has been perfection. Umpire Smith putting it on the turf in the middle. Clark hit it on the way down. Another clearance here going towards Pavlich. Pavlich gave it off. Here he is, my boy Crozier. Hayden, the cheese grater. Crozier kicks a long ball off the back. Main's going to run into an open goal. He's got it. Purple Haze are up and about. Main with his second goal of the first quarter.
I like Crozier, BT. You've caught him early.
The cheese grater.
As your man in only game number 3. He's got something about him that just makes you excited. Here he is. Up and under kick, but he's athletic. Look at the way he got straight back up, and Mundy played it really well. Would have been easy to fall over under the pressure from Hardingham. And this is a brilliant game. It's goal for goal. As we've pointed out, the intensity of it, great contest, and then brilliant individual efforts to go with it.
Just remind people, if you're wondering why we call him the cheese grater, reckons he's got the sharpest abs in the business and they can peel parmesan. Back in the middle of the ground. Hill, magnificent little tap. Hocking the clearance, goes to centre half forward. Gee, what a game. Goal for goal it is. Cracking contest. McPhee, vision to the wide ball of De Boer. Heppel. Mzungu helped smother off the ball, was great from Howlett. Eventually, a handball to the safety and sanctuary of the boundary.
Big night for both these two tonight. They've decided to go the hard tag. Ryan Crowley on Jobe Watson. I almost felt as though Watson's untaggable, how good he's been going. Crowley, for mine, is just about the best tagger in the business. He's already pushed himself forward, Jobe. He's playing centre forward at the moment. He's just had the 4 disposals. Can he get through the really hard tag tonight? It's going to be interesting.
Here is the ball magnet himself. Barlow just keeps getting it. Gave it to Pavlich. Look at the run outside. McPhee back inside to the big man. Little ball to Barlow is great play. Got to hand it to this guy. He just keeps on getting it.
Oh, he's a ripper. He's a hard worker. He's
good pass. Mark taken by Griffin.
He's had to work hard to play AFL footy, and he's not going to let his chance slip. I'll tell you what's happening at the moment. Matthew Pavlich at centre half forward. He is just leading up his opponents at the football. It's opening up space behind. It's got a good look about it, the Fremantle forward line, because of the work he's doing on the lead. Matthew Pavlich. Hardingham has just been switched to him. Hooker did start on him.
Just his 5th game this year. Pavlich going back on the line because he reckons this is going to be line ball. But Jonathan Griffin said, Pav, what are you doing, mate? I've got it covered easily.
He had it covered easily. Jonathan Griffin surprised me up here. The big ruckman from the Adelaide Crows. He just nailed it. Beautiful set shot kick. And he's going to play an important role with no Aaron Sandilands. I'll tell you what, if he can add that to his game, then he is a whole much more difficult player to match up on.
Well, there's Mzungu. He's got the job on Stanton. He's doing it really well. He's had the 5 possessions, but Stanton's only had the 1 kick so far, and this is a man who's leading the AFL for kicks. So Ross Lyon has set 2 hard tags in the midfield, and so far they're winning those battles.
Stanton. Watson outside. Melksham demanded the ball. Now what can he do with it? He goes long, looking for Hurley, and Silvani, he just looks a bit strong down there. May well play on the left boot here, Michael Hurley. Probably won't now that Subin's got that area covered.
I reckon that's almost a better option here, but it's a really tight drop punt. He kicked the last one nicely, but the Geelong players, there's no doubt, Stevie Johnson would start about 1 metre away from the mark, take 1 step, left foot snap, he's going to go the drop punt.
For his 3rd goal of the quarter, there's a great look at it, just had to guide it down perfect. He's done it. Hurley's got 3 first quarter goals.
Well, that's a good option too, if you're good enough to slot them through like that. And kicking inaccuracy has been a big problem for the Bombers. They were 2-15 at 3/4 time in their last game against the Sydney Swans. So a 5-1 start. They've done a lot of work on it with the week off. Such a mental thing. Hurley said, this is my routine. I'm going to go back and kick it. Well done.
Yeah, great finish. That's what happens late in quarters. I reckon you start to take marks deep, contested marks deep, because early in the quarter, you do your work up the ground, you work over your opponent, they get tired, then you can drop back to the goal square and take contested marks, and that's what Hurley's been able to do in this first quarter.
His best result in terms of goals for the year already, Hurley, and we're only 29 minutes into this first quarter. Out of the middle, Watson, the extractor. Did it well. The run of Dempsey, impressive. Longy's handball. An opportunity for Reimers. Reimers' short kick, punched away from Olio, picked up by Hurley. De Boer's got him, not before he got it to Jeddah. Gee, I reckon that mark was almost payable. Dempsey, a great tackle in the end, retrieves the ball for the Bombers.
Straight to him. Straight to him. Thank you.
Dempsey around the back, will give it to Stanton. He was running onto the wrong side, though. Had to go wide with the ball and found De Olio.
Well done by Dempsey, though, to get Stanton into the game. Gave him the opportunity to get a kick. He's only had, just talked about him, that's his second disposal now.
De Olio, in just his third game of footy. From the boundary line, it will be about 10 metres inside it by the time he lets go of it. To get the scores all tied up in a fascinating first quarter of football. Across the face, McFarlane's got to go, and he did in game 200 for him.
Boys, coming into this game tonight, Ross Lyon coaching the Fremantle Dockers, you would never have predicted an 11-goal first quarter. You'd almost predict an 11-goal entire game with him coaching.
So what's going on, Lingy? Why are we all of a sudden seeing this?
I think maybe everybody's prepared for Fremantle playing that way, and maybe they've thought, well, let's change things up. Let's try and catch Essendon on the hop and try something a little bit different. But it's a cracking game of footy to watch. I'm enjoying it. I prefer it played this way, to be honest.
Absolutely. It's very entertaining stuff. There is Ross Lyon. Just under half a minute to go. Barlow in there. De Boer around the corner. Through the hands of Carlisle. Hooker now. Tackled by Clark. Jakey Carlisle gives it off. Melcham and Carlisle both played at the Calder Cannons together. Handball comes back through the hands of Melcham. Hooker got belted as he kicked the ball, and now Mundy will be happy for the boundary line here. Doesn't find either. Got to go. Bombers have got some numbers around this contest. Fierce attack on the ball. Siren sounds. What a great quarter of football. Fremantle kicked 6 goals in it to lead it by 5 points, and the Bombers kicked 5 goals. Pavlich was dynamic. Hurley was great at the other end, and it was just an absolute feast of highlights. Stay with us, because on the other side of the break, this ferocity from both of these teams will continue. It's Fremantle at quarter time by 5 points.
Onto him now.
Equals their best quarter of the year, Fremantle. So good signs for them. 6 goals in it, 6 goals 1 in fact. To the Bombers, 5 goals 2. Hill back in the side. Here's Mundy. Kept low and Aldridge just worked the ball to centre half forward. Couldn't take the mark on that occasion. Neil. Griffin pokes it out of the pack, comes in the direction of Pavlich, won't reach him. Bombers with some numbers here. Hooker, short ball, finds Hill. Bad kick by Hill, wasn't it? You saw what he had to pick out. And
just looked like a player that hasn't played a lot of AFL football, which is exactly the case, and picking up the pace of it. He wanted to play on, but it wasn't the right time to do it. If he had looked up, there wasn't an option for him, so he was forced to kick.
Well, he last played Darcy at this level in round 2. The emergencies for rounds 9 and 10, but last played in round 2, so you're spot on. Just hasn't played much at this intensity. Here's Main. I thought he could have probably gone back there, looked in for Pavlich, and the Bombers had it covered left, right and centre. And now Barlow is caught in a cage.
Just a little too Pav conscious there was Main. He was in kicking distance. He's a good kick. Probably worth having a ping, I think, from that part of the ground.
Mzungu. Clancy Pearce in there. De Boer has been hard at it here today. There's Hill. Just working off half back. Kicks it to a Crammery contest, 2-on-1. But it leaves some free. Monfries sees Watson out the corner of the eye in a foot race with Main. The strength of Watson telling out there momentarily, and the recovery of Main to Subin was good.
Well done by Main. He had to cover for Crowley. Then Watson worked really hard on the transition, and Main went with him and covered for Iron Crowley. That's fantastic stuff.
Pavlich, the intended target. Hooker did well to smash it. Maybe a knock of the arms. Picked up in the end by Stanton, and centering ball finds Hibberd. Back into the side. Hibberd this week. Great to see him back. Cramery, Heppel, Mzungu, good tackle. Couldn't pin the arms, though. Cramery able to run and hoist the ball long and deep. Reamers at the back, tries to nudge Johnson under the ball. Olio's got it. Can he control it? Yes, he can. Bombers in front.
Really nice hands there from Cramery on centre wing. The overlap run, really good build-up through the centre of the ground. They got the ball out the back, and Olio the beneficiary. Quite a few red and black fans have made the journey over to Patterson Stadium here in Perth. Good crowd.
They did great, don't they? Plenty of them. Great to see them making the journey over.
Well, great work by Dyson Heppel there. He was able to avoid that tackle from Mzungu, was able to free Cramery up through the middle of the ground, long kick forward, and Freo will be disappointed with that. They love to stop that transition through the middle, and the broken tackle from Heppel sets that up.
Barlow with the clearance. The feet of Pavlich. Lost sight of the ball. Olio pressuring him. Out towards Neil. Hibberd kept it rolling towards the boundary line. He's desperate to get it over that line, and an accidental kick by Lower.
Mark's there.
Out on the full.
Play on, he's inside, play on!
So Myers told to play on because he'd come back inside the field of play, which is the correct call. De Boer has been really impressive in this game, I reckon. Hocking, Mundy to Griffin. Fiddled and faddled and fumbled below his knees and eventually couldn't do anything. Howlett tries to burst out of the pack without success.
Ball's pinned. Thank you. Thanks, Ben.
So haven't seen a loose player back at all in the game so far. Both coaches are happy to play man-on-man. You're getting a good image there. So there's space inside 50 for both sides, which has accounted for the dozen goals that we've already seen in this game. But around the contest, it is red hot.
McPhee with the really strong, don't argue, backed himself in the strength stakes there. Here's Stanton. Stanton wide to Hill. Hill's got plenty of time and space in front of him. Looking over the head here of Cramery. Did well, Silvani.
McFarlane's in trouble.
Got the short back and sides. Neil. McFarlane is absolutely laid out behind the play and he's hardly moved. There he is, lying face on the deck. In the meantime, McPhee to Pavlich. Still hasn't moved. McFarlane.
There was real courage from him going back.
55 metres, kick is good. Zach Clark should have gobbled that up. Got it on the hop. Gave it off to the man Barlow, the magnet. And ball out wide, and McFarlane, he's got to his feet. And gee, he must have either been knocked out or
there it is.
A rather quick recovery.
Great news. Yeah, just the point of the shoulder and the chin, which is the hot spot for a boxer to get wobbly legs. And he stayed down for a while, but he's back.
Let's hope there was an issue there, Dars. Otherwise, we'd probably stayed down a bit too long. Flat on his face.
I don't think.
Geez, you're a harsh man, Brian.
Given the force of contact, Bristol, that we are questioning him there.
All right, you win.
I'm reasonably sure I saw his chin go into the shoulder there, BT.
Oh, come on, Snag. Here's Melksham on to Jeddah. Back inside to Melksham. Harden up a little, Richo. Hurley over the top, Jeddah looking for the clever tap to Ryder, couldn't get him. Here he is, McFarlane, he's recovered remarkably. Handball out the back door to Olio. No, McPhee cuts it off. Pavlich. The game's record holder at this club. Jakey Carlisle did nice. Inside ball to Hooker. Hooker gives it off, an opportunity for Hibberd. Hibberd inside 50 without direction. Johnson dropped the mark that he probably should have taken. He initiated that contact into Hurley then. Don't tell me that's a 50. Common sense there, and Simon Meredith doing a nice job.
Just got a feeling that it's just starting to tighten up a little bit this game, but they're away now.
Crowley sees Main.
There he is.
Main's got an opportunity for this man here, Crichton. Crichton on the left, centering ball, the boy from Tasmania, who's got the mullet going, the beard. We believe he's one of the worst dressers of all time at Fremantle to go with that.
It's a long way.
And there's Dad.
From Tassie over to Perth, and that is a special hairdo. There's a few of those down in Tassie still.
Clancy, Pearce, Howlett. Melksham to recover this before the boundary. He does. Johnson corralling, handball longish to hooker. Jetta's got some wheels, gathers it on the logo. Here he goes, couple of bounces. Anyone going to try and get him? Bangs it long. Good ball. Crameri was being held. Was he interfered with by McVee? Said the umpire.
Very smart there by Stuart Crameri with the ball coming back over his shoulder like that. All you have to do is draw the contact from McVee. Almost guaranteed to get a free kick every time.
Yeah, well said, Liam. Richard and I jumping out of our chair exactly, and Simon Meredith explaining the free kick. He did well, didn't Richard? Just took the space, as Lingy said, and was able to draw a free kick.
That's why he's such a natural forward, this guy. That was just great forward play. He knew that if he stepped forward into McVee and drew the contact, the umpire would probably play the free. Just smart forward line tactic.
Crameri will kick a certain goal. He does. The Bombers buy a goal.
So the Bomber fans a little excited about what they're seeing, and so are we here, really enjoying the quality of this game. 13 goals already scored. We keep talking about the intensity of the contest. Adam McVee still arguing with Simon Meredith.
Look, he was pretty stiff, I guess, but just smart play by Crameri.
Let's have a listen to the umpire's explanation here, boys. Of this last free.
He's playing from footy, arms around him. But he's looking at the footy. You're not even watching the football.
There you go. There's the explanation, which I think is fair from umpire Simon Meredith. You're not watching the footy. Crichton out of the middle. Carlisle. Hooker and Carlisle combining. Bombers got some numbers wide. Gee, he was attacked, Hibberd then. Hocking was confronted as well. Barlow, really sharp hands to Neil, who looks great. Kick goes into Broughton, probably should have marked that. Get the Dukes out in front. Stop trying to mark it on the bread basket.
Classic Dustin Fletcher finding a way to get fist to ball when others aren't able to. Long arms.
Extend
you're right.
Does.
Yep.
Gee, here's Clancy anyway. Opportunity. Hibberd just on the edge of the centre square. Good kick. Gives a great opportunity for Crameri. Plenty of space. No one forward of the ball. In comes Heppel. Open goal square. Needs it to roll on. Doesn't want the backspin. Got it. Unbelievably measured kick.
Yeah, brilliantly called, BT, and brilliantly summed up by Dyson Heppel. He actually kicked it, hoping for the end on end, and kicked it in a way that gave him a better chance of it happening. You punch it lower, you don't give it the air, almost like the 9-iron in golf where it sucks back. Clever kick.
Let's have another look at this goal from behind the goals, and he summed it up well. He's a smart player. Just drew it back beautifully, bounced it into the square, but he's having a pretty solid night, Dyson Heppel. Not kicking the ball a lot, had a lot of handballs, but getting his hands on it. Here he is again.
Never quite sure about the bounce on a firm track, are you? There's Howlett.
Got hands.
Trying to sow a little bit of foot candy there. Jetta went through without success. Hocking, Howlett, all combining. Barlow, there he is, the boy out of Assumption College. Sharp hands, Carlisle. Nice grab. Sees Hardingham, short kick, Monfries. Monfries kick interrupted. And Mundy. Barlow is just getting a stack of the ball. I think has the most possessions of anyone on the ground here at the moment. Michael Barlow. Over the line and out of bounds.
Essendon are trying to get Heath Hocking to Michael Barlow, BT. Not working that well at the moment. Barlow just racking up the touches and really getting Fremantle's game going. They both head to the bench together, so that's a clear matchup, that one.
Nice work, Lingy. De Boer. Remus tries to charge out of Mundy, and the tackling tonight by Fremantle, well, by both sides as well, has been fantastic.
Yeah, we've been all over the pressure, haven't we, around the contest. And you mentioned Michael Barlow, the leading possession gatherer on the field. He's had 15 disposals. Dyson Heppel the most for the Bombers with 10.
Clancy Pearce, long ball to Pavlich, slightly under it. Melksham now missed the overrun of it. Clark's got to go hard at it. Does. Slipped over in the meantime. Well, he slipped and got under the ball and resulted in the high tackle.
Can't pay advantage, out of zone call.
See that? Great call by the umpire. When an umpire that's not in the zone behind the play calls the free kick, cannot play advantage. Perfectly umpire. Look at this man. The magnet has come off the bench and got yet another one. And he just keeps on getting it.
And that has got to annoy you if you're Heath Hocking. Straight off the bench, another touch, and he's sitting there, can't do anything about it.
Well, he had less of a rest than Hocking. I mean, Hocking was ready to come back on, but in the end could do nothing, as you say, Lingy. Howlett and Myers combining here off half-back. Myers looking to go down the middle, had to be neat with the ball to Olio. Little chipper to Ryder, who's been quite-ish in this game, hasn't he? There he is again, Barlow. I'm telling you, he is the closest thing I've seen to a football ball magnet, Das. Johnson.
Unbelievable player.
Yep. Main. He wants Broughton to come at him. He doesn't, so he sees Clark. Clark gathers, goes long, and that's a booming kick to get Fremantle back in the hunt here, down by just a goal.
That was great play by the Dockers. They didn't blaze away. Come back inboard, and Clark presented through that middle corridor. He could have gone inside 50 earlier. They didn't. They centred the football, and Clark had enough time and space in the middle of the ground to kick a long goal. Still had to kick that ball 55 metres to get it to the goal line, and fantastic. Ever kicked a couple of goals. He's looked good. He's had 9 touches, kicked 2.
He's a super athlete, this man, Zach Clark. And that's something you don't see too often from a big 6'7" ruckman kicking long running goals from outside 50. He's had a couple and 9 possessions. Good start from Zach Clark with no Aaron Sandilands. Super important.
Das reminding himself of himself.
Yeah.
Melksham inside to Hill. Look at the pickup from the big man off the laces. Got it to Stanton. He's the left footer, remember, Hocking. He just goes bang! Good looking ball. Just offline. Got the inside of the post. Heath Hocking. Ibbotson to return the ball. So still a heap of time left in this first half. Just under 10 minutes. The goal-kicking frenzy has slowed somewhat. Just collectively 4 goals kicked in this 15 minutes of play.
Just want to ask Lingy down there, the Essendon forward line. We haven't seen Hill and Ryder inside 50 a lot tonight. Lingy, they just look to be going a little bit smaller down there tonight.
I think they are, Richard. I think you've got Hurley and Crameri obviously playing the key roles there. But I think they want the little fellas on the deck, like blokes like Jetta just buzzing around. But then if the ball hits the deck, they can bring the pressure and try and trap the footy in there.
This kid here is just playing great footy, mature footy for a young guy. This Jake Carlisle.
Yeah, I really rate him. Game number 20 for Jake Carlisle, and I've spoken a lot. We've had a lot of Essendon games on Saturday Night Footy. I think they're developing a very, very complete list, and he fits that picture nicely. He'll end up being a good forward and a good defender.
A little too long for Hurley there, and Johnson just sits back and takes the defensive mark.
Now, play on.
Quickly around the corner, opportunity for Remus as the ball is taken away, but Silvani gets back to mark.
He's got away with one there,
yep.
Michael Johnson. He's had a terrific year inside that back 50 for Fremantle. One of the leaders in the comp for gaining possession down there, but that was just a bit of a brain fade.
Crowley able to go on the wing. Pavlich presents in front of Hooker by about 10 metres. Here comes Broughton in front of his man. Kick needed to be lower. It gave Fletcher a chance. Broughton not able to recover it. He had Fletcher beaten on the lead.
Yeah, he got up a little awkwardly, Dustin Fletcher. You can see he's got just a tiny little limp up, but able to get up and run it out.
Das, I think he's now got as we just look at the jarring of the knee there from Fletcher. Well, that's got to hurt a bit. But he's now back playing on a smaller player. As you mentioned earlier, Dust, much more comfortable. Means he can zone off and do what he likes.
Good point, Lingy. Stanton outlined to Myers. There's David Hill, who's been okay, Dust, on his return.
Yeah, look, he's got hold of the footy a little bit. Just has been a touch off, which would you expect for a big player coming back. Hasn't played since round 2, but his work rate's been impressive.
Paddy Ryder. It's a very long kick. Crammery, really good with his body. Gee, arrived just in the nick of time on this occasion. Did lower, I think it was. Little chip ball to De Boer. De Boer's kick, they're living dangerously to Griffin.
Yeah, they are. Essendon are really putting the ball in there, putting them under the pump, and they're just holding up well here at the moment.
Have a look at those inside 50s, Richo, or time in forward half in this quarter would be interesting. At the moment, as the free kick is paid, it'll go the way of Fremantle. Silvani, I think it is.
Yeah, they just can't quite get that run and flow that they had going forward this quarter, the Dockers.
Silvani from the wing. Hocking, quick hands, Mzungu. Panicked a little. Watson didn't when under pressure to Monfries. Crammery trying to protect the drop zone of the ball. Reema's doing really well against Broughton. On the right boot, Reema's back inside. Did McPhee infringe? It doesn't matter. Jeddah over the top. The advantage is paid. It'll be a certain Essendon goal. D'Olio will kick his second goal of the quarter. Crowd not happy, some of them, but that crowd there are. Thought a free should have been paid.
Yeah, McPhee gave away the free kick, and they're getting in his face a little bit. Hurley's gone across Jeddah. And the umpire,
nothing high, boys.
You can hear mic'd up saying, I'll pay a free kick.
Michael, nothing high, mate.
Well, it's those little guys. It's Jordan Bannister there. He didn't see it.
Mate, I didn't see it. I've got to see it. Mate, I've got to see it. I didn't see it. Okay. I'm telling you I didn't see it.
So Jeddah questioning umpire Jordan Bannister there. Now, we'll have a look at the replay of that right now. And that is, I agree with Jeddah there. That is one that should have gone his way.
Yeah, it certainly should have. He was right on the scene, Jordan Bannister. He said he didn't see it, so
jumper punch.
Obviously believe what he said. There was a good jumper punch in there.
Yeah, absolutely to the face, and I agree totally with Leroy Jeddah there.
We know Leroy Jeddah's on notice too, because he's had a couple of staging incidents. Certainly not on that occasion. That was a genuine fist to the face.
You boys have all heard the story of the boy who cried wolf.
Yes.
That's what happens.
No, Lingy. Nice work. Look at this, the link up through the middle. De Boer with a really good tackle to just shorten them up. Mzungu's got to beat about 4 of them. Look at the numbers for Essendon here at the moment. Jeddah drawing handball wide to Hardingham. Over the top to Melksham. Melksham will be run downhill almost by Crichton, not before he got it to Monfries. They'll play on here. No, they won't.
Yeah, it's downfield.
It'll come back to Melksham. Monfries will get the free. Crowd joining in. The emotion of this game is terrific.
The Bombers are putting them under a lot of pressure at the moment. They're holding up. This inside 50 is really important. They've had plenty of time to get back and set up a good structure. Hill's gone forward there.
Monfries to the pocket. Here comes Crammery. He's got good hands overhead. Mundy did well not to infringe. Here's McPhee. Pretty horrible foot disposal. Picked up by Stan, and that was deliberate. Paddy's got to be strong. Did well over the top, did lower. Really well. Ball kicked out in front of Broughton. Broughton will gather possession. He's got Fletcher to beat, and he's away. That's a deliberate professional free from Fletcher. He knew that he was the last man in line.
Yeah, you're spot on. That was experience. Chris Mayne was running down this side of the ground closest to the commentary box here, and if Broughton had have got possession, he would have taken an easy mark inside 50. Fletcher knew that and gave away that free kick.
Great play by Dustin Fletcher. Ball long, Ryder, athletic.
You know, I reckon Fletcher was smart enough to do as well. He knew he was going to get the benefit of the doubt to kick the footy away, and that gained another 10 seconds for the defenders to come back, and it's saved a really good goal-scoring opportunity for the Dockers.
As Reema's. And let's return to this Bombers outfit, last played in round 3. Kick over the head, Crameri and Johnson tangle up there. Got rid of Johnson, was there a hand in the back? Umpire said no, Hill got around 1, shifted off the handball to the left-footed Heppel. Heppel bends, needs a good bounce, won't get it this time. Minor score.
Stanton's up to 12 possessions now, equal highest for the Bombers. His work rate, he's pretty hard to tag also because he's got such great aerobic ability.
Bombers by 14. Remember, they have lost the last 6 games that they have played at this venue, and they have won only 2 of their last 16.
Fremantle, we know, led by 5 points at quarter time. They have not won both the first and second quarter this year, and it looks as though that trend is going to continue.
Gee, it's unbelievable. Neil to the magnet Barlow. Main in front of Hardingham. He'll be playing in front of his parents here. Dad's a bus builder. Toot. In case you didn't know, here in Western Australia.
Is there any connection with you there, BT, at all?
Not really, just
taking an interest in him?
No, my town's Kojonup, I think he's originally from. Here is Crichton with that mullet. Forward over the back, Broughton. Got clobbered, was it a little high? There's my man, Crozier. Kick out of there, and I think it's good for Maine. Maine has kicked his 3rd goal of the game.
Well, they're not going to go away, the Dockers. Essendon have probably had the better, or they have had the better at this second quarter, but they've hung tough. Fremantle, he's been really good, Chris Maine. That's his 3rd goal, and some of his work to get back and help his defenders and then push forward. His work rate's been fantastic. He's coming off the ground now. Deserves that break. He's working really hard.
Don't underestimate the high degree of difficulty. There's Crozier to actually fend off and be falling backwards and to get the footy going in the direction you want with the goal. That was a brilliant effort there from Mundy, who's kicked his 3rd.
Don't underestimate the cheese grater, Hayden Crozier there. Abs tougher than any other in the comp with that slick handball either, Das.
I like him, BT. He's your man, but I'd like him to jump on board.
I believe he's a man that needs some loving as well. He's short of a love interest, is a young man, Crozier.
Possibly not after tonight.
Dare say he's got a few years to go before he worries about that. Just concentrate on the footy would be my suggestion. Here's Johnson. Just the transfer of ball to the fat side of the ground.
I like the look of the Tassie boy, Crichton too, BT.
Well, yes. You are a Tasmanian, of course, Richo.
From northeast Tasmania, not far out of Launceston, and pretty tough part of Australia there.
Well, you're from up that way, we know, Richo. And
dress sense is not a priority there.
Ibbotson, hairstyles, dress sense, anything that's got 40 years on it is good there. Marching through Hibbard. Mize with a long one, so just dropped off in intensity just the last couple of minutes this game. There is Crichton. Got it to Clancy, Pearce, De Boer, caught. Clark now under Bomber pressure. Got around a couple. Crichton, kick inside 50. Danger for the Bombers. Howlett did well. The give and go. Can they break through? Crameri in the middle. McFarlane did well not to infringe. Game 200 for Luke McFarlane. Has been a fantastic player. Look at Clancy Pearce in the white shorts out there. Big, isn't it? Little right foot kick is great. Mark taken by Pavlich.
Started well, Pav. Just faded out in the last few minutes, but he looks in really good nick.
Broughton just pushed off the ball. Now Fletcher's on all fours. Myers under enormous pressure. Great smother by Pavlich.
Yeah, Pavlich couldn't go long then inside 50. He had to try and find a leading target because Paddy Ryder had pushed back and was the last man in line. So good work by Ryder. Got back there and filled up the space for Essendon.
We'll hear at half-time the inner thoughts of Ross Lyon on his superstar Matthew Pavlich. Stay with us for that. There's Broughton, who's been playing up forward tonight. So a collective 6-goal haul in this second quarter as against the 11 in the first quarter collectively. Howlett out of the stoppage. Subin dropped the mark he really should have taken. Myers has had 11 touches in this quarter. Here's Cramery through the middle. No one between he and the goal. He can go all the way. He's taken McFarlane on. Look at that. Amazing stuff. He said, I'm faster and more athletic than you'll ever be. And he took him on. Talk about cheeky.
What an unbelievable effort that was, BT. Luke McFarlane, who's one of the better athletes playing the game. He was a junior 400-metre champion. And Stewie Cramery has taken a look over the shoulder, taken 3 bounces and run away from. That's one of the better athletic feats we've seen this year. And Luke McFarlane can't believe it.
Yeah, he is really quick, Luke McFarlane. Played on him a little bit, and he was very hard to get away from on the lead. But Cramery, and to run and be able to bounce the ball like that, and still sort of not...
He just knew that the bounce had to be right.
Yeah.
If the bounce slowed him up 1/2 a step, he was gone, wasn't he? So the bounce had to be perfect and not slow him at all.
And how's that? He's gone the right-hand bounce to the left-hand bounce. That's a great example of how skilled the modern players are.
We have just seen an unbelievable play from Cramery to kick his second goal. Bombers by 14, under a minute remaining in the half.
Gee, they're red hot on that play on this weekend.
Some good news for the Bombers too. In all 8 games they've won, they've led at half-time. And they'll go in here in the West with the lead.
There's Clancy Pearce. White short's not his favourite, Das. Clancy.
While we're on the stats, Das, they haven't lost a game if they've scored 100 points, so they're well on the way, well over halfway there.
Apple in front with the hand. Watson did well through traffic to Hocking. Still time here for the Bombers. Pick up by Stamp was good. I reckon that was a throw, but the umpire was caught behind. Couldn't see it. Fair enough. Howlett now to Myers as they just steady it up with under a quarter of a minute remaining.
What's Clancy's aversion to the white shorts, Brian? Not just flattering for a chunkier sort of unit?
Just ample in the backside, Das. Clancy Pearce. Siren sounds to end the half. Who am I to speak, you would say, to us? I know, Richo.
My next call that was coming.
You're looking at me like that. This is a fantastic game of football here. I've got the feeling this one's going all the way to the end. Half-time scores. Bombers by 14. 10-4-64 to Freo. 8-2-50. Cracking half of football. Plenty more to come on the other side of the break.
Still feel, as we start the second half, that a bag of 4 or 5 required from Pav for Fremantle to win.
Umpire Jordan Bannister to get it underway. Former Bomber player himself, along with the Blues. And a very, very good umpire.
He could give him a head.
It's been solid, Griffin.
He didn't have possession.
Stepping into the #1 ruckman with Sandingland's out, I reckon he's done his job. And the 2 tags that we saw at the start of the game are there again at the start of this second quarter. The second half, excuse me.
Main tries to run onto this and looking for one back inside. Got it to Crowley, back to Main. He loses a bit of ground, but now they get a look at a forward ball. Pavlich, Clark and Broughton, and outmarked by Carlisle in the end.
Gee, they're harsh on this play on this round.
Yeah, hardly moved up the line again, did he, Carlisle?
I reckon they're really tightened up on it over the weekend, the umpires.
Ball to centre wing, McFarlane and Hurley. Stanton a little careless in his attempts to move the ball on there.
What was great about that mark by Carlisle, he's doing the job defensively this year, but he's not afraid as a defender to go for his marks, and I think that's fantastic. The best defenders have always done that. Matthew Scarlett does it. Brian Lake's one of the best at doing it, and good to see Carlisle backing himself in close to the Fremantle goal line, going for his marks.
Oh, Paddy, that's it.
Silvani.
A more measured start to the second half, BT.
It's looking different already, isn't it?
Yeah, we get the feeling that we might get this one closed in scoring restricted a bit more. It started at the most cracking pace just about seen all year.
Who's initiating that, Das?
I think it favours Ross Lyon. I think it's his natural style. I think he prefers to get into an arm wrestle. He'd love just to peg it back, maybe get it to within a goal at three-quarter time, get the crowd factor into it here at Subiaco and see if he can just put enough pressure in the minds of the Bombers players.
Dempsey to Hooker had a little bit too much on it, and Hooker unable to.
By the sounds of it, boys, Freo have obviously tried to open up the game, play a different style of footy in the first half of the game. Now going back to what we expected from them early on, that's keep possession of the ball, just control the tempo of the game and slow the game down so that Essendon can't move the ball as quick.
Bit of a Justin Bieber about him, that boundary umpire that threw it back in just then. He's
threw it in about 8 metres as well, which is not really
got Justin's strength.
His guns are about the size of Bieber's.
Oh, now come on. There he is, Bieber boy.
It's all about timing, though, the boundary throwing.
There's Bannister boy. Mzungu through traffic to Pav. There's Clancy. Pearce leaves it for the skipper. Pavlich trying to thread the needle. Magnificent ball by the big man Pavlich to get it through that little gap and find Broughton was magnificent.
He had half a fumble, the skipper, at the first contest. He knew that he wouldn't make a second mistake, and that is such great vision, awareness, understanding of how to play the game. And then the kick, as you said, BT, was just perfect.
Only kicked the 1 goal this year. Only has the 10 career goals, Greg Broughton, from his 65 games. He's played all of the night up at this end of the ground, and here he is with a 45-degree angle shot. There it is. Good-looking kick. Needs to hold its line, and it has. Fremantle with a good second half start.
Well, it was set up by Matthew Pavlich. He is obviously the key if Fremantle can win this game. He won the game in Melbourne a few weeks ago against Richmond with a 6-goal haul, and every time he gets the football, he just has that little bit more poise and class than most other players on the ground. Good players always look like they have more time, and Pavlich was good enough and poised enough to be able to find Broughton on the lead.
So within 8 points now here, the Fremantle Dockers. Broughton kicks his first goal of the game, and we believe possible injury news with Hurley as well. We're just going to see if we can capture any of that, as both teams tonight have kicked 5 goals straight from set shots. So perfect here tonight. And Michael Hurley leaving the ground there, as you can see, going down into the Essendon rooms. Doesn't look too serious, moving well.
He's running off the ground without any obvious impediment, so let's hope that it's just something quick and he's back out there.
He hasn't been involved in any play yet, so it's interesting.
The magnet Barlow working it forward. Here's Mzungu. Myers been good. Risky handball. Pavlich looks up and about in this half as well. Bombers got some numbers here. Hardingham missed the first attempt. Hooker on to Hibberd. And was that out of bounds on the fall off the leg of Stanton? I don't think so.
Maybe Michael Hurley just needs to go to the men's room.
Possibly, Richo.
Not unheard of.
It's a possibility.
Does happen in your, how many 280 odd games? Did it ever happen to you, Richo, or Das?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, players are drinking sometimes about 8 litres of Powerade before a game.
Griffin long. Hooker couldn't mark. Probably should have taken it. The strength of Pavlich, but Fletcher catches up with him. Bombers out of the loop. Advantage paid here. Dempsey, a little ball inside to his mate Jetta.
Really not happy with Leroy Jetta. I thought he took a bit of a dive in the second quarter, but our replay suggests it was a decent punch in the face from Adam McPhee.
Absolutely. Little ball back inside to Remus. Just got it in front of Crozier. There's Heppel. The hair looking as loose as ever from Dyson Heppel. Good looking ball, great hands, Cramery turns around on the point of the square, 70 out, a genuine one-on-one, Paddy and McFarlane offhand. Subin didn't let it hit the deck. Beautifully done from Nick Subin, and that kick is magnificent.
That was great. He worked harder than anyone else to get back front and square and crumb that ball, and helped out his defence.
Oh, De Boer felt the pressure from behind, felt the need to get rid of it quicker than he should have. It was Griffin. Gives Hill a chance here. He should mark in front. Spoiled. Clancy able to pick it up. The bend around the body looking for Broughton. Fletcher will win in the race back, but he's now under pressure. Just was able to partially keep his footing, and now Hardingham under Mundy pressure. Keeps it alive. Dangerous thing to do. Lockie Neal got it back to Clancy. Pearce. Too much hook, Clancy. Too much hook. And Hibbert couldn't keep it alive.
She nearly kept it in then, Hibbert. That play from Subin was fantastic down back to have the poise then to kick it outside his own defensive 50 and hit a target, set up that scoring attack.
Another contest here. Ibbotson able to bowl his man over lower, got it off to De Boer. De Boer set sail for home, gets a really good look. Fremantle back within 2 points.
Perfect start to the second half for the Fremantle Dockers. They've slowed the game down, restricting the run of Essendon, and they've kicked the first 2 goals. De Boer continuing his very, very good form up to 16 disposals, and that goal right then, as BT just pointed out, back to a 2-point margin.
Have another look at the goal here, and it was a great finish, but that's the 7 inside 50s to 1 this quarter. They've come out full of winning. The Fremantle Dockers scores nearly back level now. This is just a great game of footy. They're not going to go away tonight, the Dockers.
Indeed it is, Richo. As you say, back within 2 points. Griffin, did he dispose of it correctly by hand or foot? The umpire said knocked out in the tackle. Hibbert looking for perfection with Heppel, couldn't get it. Ibbotson.
Boys, Michael Hurley back from the change rooms. Looks to have just got his wrist or hand retaped, so it doesn't look to be too bad.
Oh, Carlisle backing back into the oncoming traffic of Pavlich.
That's what I'm talking about, BT. Goes for his marks. That time going back into Pav, who was coming out on the lead. He is one of the most improved tall defenders in the competition this year.
They need to get more out of this man, though, BT. Paddy Ryder's got the footy. That's just disposal number 7. Has had no influence in this game. Too important a player to not be involved at all.
Reamers into Monfries. Monfries around the corner. Here's Hill. Got back to help McFarlane. Olio there has kicked a couple in this game. And Jakey Carlisle, magnificent. EC Hurley, Hardingham and Melksham. And, of course, that man on the right there.
It's the weapon.
The weapon.
Eyes up, arms clear!
Responsible for strength and conditioning. And there's Monfries. Looking for Heppel, De Boer. Sneaky little one from Neal to lower. Now Main. Didn't panic. Lower's got a lot of traffic to deal with here. Did it well and had great eyes into the middle. De Boer didn't get the body contact that he'd hoped then. Now on to Pavlich. Pavlich can go further afield here. Magnificent kick. Broughton marks.
Well, that was great play by Broughton. All of the rest of the Fremantle forwards pushed right up the ground over halfway, but Broughton didn't. He wanted to isolate Dustin Fletcher and keep him last man in the line. Fletch tried to anticipate the play and came off of Broughton, and that's how he got that gap going back towards goal.
You can see De Boer in the marking attempt trying to feel the leg and the back of the opponent in front. Didn't get him. That's why I think he didn't take the mark. But now Broughton from almost directly in front. Good grip on the ball. This to put Fremantle in front. Have a look at the purple haze. They're up and about.
A brilliant response here from the Dockers. First 3 goals of the second half, and they get the lead back. Crowd gets involved. We can see a sea of purple here. Patterson Stadium, Subiaco. I reckon they've changed the context of the way the game's been played. Yeah, they've kicked the goals, but none of that line-breaking run that Essendon have been able to deliver in the first half. They've been able to just slow it down a touch, and their own rebound work has been sensational. Brilliant response here from the Dockers.
Certainly is, and there's no doubt Darcy, it's been a tactic. You mentioned it early. They had Zach Clark taking Dustin Fletcher deep into his own defence. Well, this quarter, he's on Broughton, and Broughton's kicked those 2 goals. Done it really well, keeping Fletch the last man in the line.
Back in the middle of the ground, Paddy Ryder to Watson. Clancy, Pearce in there, lower again. Little handball under pressure now. Watson steps to the line. Fremantle by 4 points. Ball inside 50. Cramry, a little bit of speed, couldn't control it. Now Watson. Crichton's got him. Gee, bit of a flick pass or a throw. I'm not sure which one. Barlow, the magnet man. Now Pavlich again. Up they fly, knocked away by Hooker. Carlisle bumped off the ball. The man of the moment, Broughton. Got a ball wide. Barlow gathers. Got him, Hooker. Wrapped him up in the tackle. Threw him to ground, and this will be a ball up. Have kicked the last 3 goals of the game, the Fremantle Dockers. Cramry just being checked there. Fremantle's end of the ground. Clancy, Pearce trying to find a way through.
All of a sudden, it's back to the Bombers. They need their gun players to respond. There's Joe Watson, who's been involved and effective. He's had 15 disposals, but Ryan Crowley has taken away that real good clearance work that he normally delivers. Of just getting the matchups they want here all of a sudden, Fremantle.
Hurley, did he have it? I don't think so. McFarlane infringing there. Howell out the back. Good ball to Hocking. Hocking looks to the wing and sees the white-booted Reamers. Used to wear purple and green ones. Just the white one, says James Hurdle do. Silvani backing back into the slot. Poor kick from him, though, to Crichton. Worked it out nicely, found Neal, and now McFarlane back to Neal. Half back here for the Dockers. Subin. Not panicking with the ball. Freo, I like their style. Broughton couldn't get it. Howlett off hands, back to Heppel. Beautiful vision by Heppel to find Hibberd. Hibberd over the top to Paddy. The give and go comes back to Jobe from 50 with a low ball to Monfries. Monfries has taken the mark, 20-out, difficult angle.
Yeah, brilliant response from the skipper, Joe Watson. A great play from Ryder. It was the right option. Get him involved. Such a complete player now. Joe Watson is
plays on, kick around the body, just hurried it a little. Monfries
just got it in the middle of the ball.
So just a little bit of composure. You see the likes of the Hawthorn team do that, and they take their time and they think through it. Thought he sort of rushed that.
Most players are pretty good at it now, but he normally is, Monfries.
Gee, I reckon Paddy might have had hands in the back of his opposite number there.
And he's just off tonight. Paddy Ryder.
He's had a bit of a trim with the hair. He's sharpened that up a bit, Darce, but Zach's got to come all the way back to receive this free at half-back, basically. 9.5 minutes remaining in the third. Fremantle have kicked all 3 goals in this quarter. Lead it by 4. McPhee. On his non-preferred side, De Boer. Crowley off hands magnificently. Bang, it's already up the 14. Hands in the back of Main. I saw that against Kyle Hardingham. Main wants it.
Well, he's got Pav down there, who looks really dangerous.
And he's got a run and jump of it. Here comes Pav over the back. He's got it.
He was just in a great spot, BT. And you could see Carl Hooker shaking his head, but he didn't have body contact. And you looked up and you went, you give Pav 5 metres of space, Richo. That is just so dangerous. And he delivered.
I reckon a gun forward like Matty Pavlich, he would have been happy when Hooker's in front of him like that. You love it as a forward when the defenders get in front of you, and you shouldn't give him that sort of space.
8 marks for the skipper. Pavlich comes in to convert here, kick the first goal of the game for a 10-point Fremantle lead to Senders play Psycho. Pavlich with his second goal, Darce.
Just starting to unravel here for the Bombers. 4 in a row to start the second half for the Fremantle Dockers.
Yeah, Yeah, Matty Pavlich, you see Hooker there, he just got lost. He got in front of him, he lost touch on Pavlich, and he was all at sea with the ball coming over his head.
Now, we saw the hands in the back from Hardingham, but should Pavlich, seconds later, have been pinged as well? Yes, he should have.
Well, to the letter of the law, yeah, he should have.
Absolutely. We've seen less paid, Richo. Ibbotson strolls through. Free kick against Dempsey. He wonders why. Mundy told to give it back, and Courtney not happy. Jonathan Griffin kicks another long ball. All the big hitters are there. Zach Clark flew without success. Heppel to Stanton, and now Melksham back to Stanton. Under pressure from Mzungu. Made him work. Well done, Crichton. Magnificent to Mzungu. Onto the magnet man, Barlow. Picks it up. Can he control? Oh, he fell over his own feet in the end. And the ball went out of bounds.
He's just had a meltdown there, poor old Michael Barlow. I tell you what, Brent Stanton, you've got to be careful. He called for the footy in a position where he shouldn't have got it. Mzungu was closing space. You've got to, even though you want the footy as badly as Stanton does, your responsibility is to call for it when you're in the right position.
Fletcher, clever little own behind through the goals.
I think sometimes you get in that mindset, Brent Stanton's getting tagged. He demands a footy, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. If you're running away from goal and your tag is a metre away, that ain't the time to get it. You've got to push forward and earn it when it's the right time to earn it.
Good kicking, isn't it? 12-3 to 10-4. Fletcher sees Hill and Cramery as targets that he likes. Really no great contest there. De Boer says, just give me a go at it. Off to Johnson, handball smothered. Well done, Cramery. Clancy, Pearce. Great control to McPhee. High ball on the head of Mundy. Heppel, Barlow, somehow to De Boer, searching for space and time for Griffin, able to launch another ball forward. They're all in there ready to go. Tried to mark it Hardingham. Hibbert did well to force it out to the advantage of Hill. Melksham's under enormous pressure.
Gee, they're hunting them now. Look at them.
Oh, this is great pressure. Haven't seen this for a while off Freo. Hocking. Oh, I thought it was good use of the body.
Right on it, right on it!
Jeez, I was with you, BT. I thought that he played that really well, my first glance, but the free kick has gone Clancy Pearce's way.
Short ball to Main is...
Right on it!
Is he within distance here?
You got your angle?
Well, last week they had a record for tackles, Fremantle, a club record. And they're starting to up the ante now. They didn't lay any tackles in that little patch, but the pressure and the pressure acts forced the turnover.
4-1 Freo to no score Essendon in this quarter as we're about to enter red time at the 20-minute mark. Main has kicked 3 goals. This one will be from just outside the arc. It's a good ball with great direction. Falls short by a metre. Very serious goal umpire there, giving that behind.
He's doing his job well.
Oh, he's very serious about his job. Richo. Now, as you say, the pressure is mounting. They just can't seem to get it out of this end, the Bombers.
Yeah, well, they had 118 tackles against Richmond last start.
Play on.
Handball to Hooker. Stanton through centre half back, just hoists it long in a hurry. Remus didn't punch from behind, he went the mark, and he's really disappointed with himself there.
That's what I'm talking about again with Stanton. He just screams to the footy, give it to me, with no concept of what's around him. He was under enormous pressure. All he could do was hook it blindly and a floating kick to the forward line. You're not helping your team doing that. Better off not getting it. Run and protect.
Great kick by Mundy. Surely the Pavelator is too far out here. I reckon he inside wants to go the barrel, but team discipline says no.
Touch, play on.
Just trying to get a little iffy one over the top. Dempsey is mauled. Crowley went without it. Now Jake Melksham sees Paddy wide, and Johnson getting back to keep him honest. Couldn't stop Paddy though. Ryder into the middle. That was a kick that was never on, I reckon. Ibbotson was always making ground kick. Mzungu went for the low ball to Main. Turns his man around in Carlisle. Got Fletcher at the back. Relieving handball to Carlisle.
This is where they can't get that breakthrough run, as Richo's pointing out. This is their best opportunity to go coast to coast.
The white-booted Reamers, here he is, sends a long ball. Crammery bound. Great kick, Kyle Reamers.
Great kick, great work rate from Stuart Crammery, boys. Essendon need the run in their legs, and they brought their sub on Nathan Lovett-Murray. They've taken Angus Monfries off.
Gee.
Well, that's their A-grade plan, isn't it? Win it at half-back, long clearing kick, fast, hard run, get out into open space. That's a big move getting Monfries off, but they've decided the fresh run. Well done to Fremantle. This start of the second quarter, they have just completely shut Essendon's run down.
The feeling players don't like putting the red vest on when you see a picture of Angus Monfries.
Absolutely the worst thing you could do.
Crammery plays on, gives himself a little more breathing space, and he's missed.
On his left leg there, it was probably just the opportunity to kick a drop punt. We know players now love to go around, but
he's done well with guiding it down tonight in a straight direction, hasn't he, from tougher positions?
It wasn't a tough angle on his left leg.
Johnson, I'm not sure that will even be called a set shot because he did play on. So may well be a kick in motion. Fletcher's got a difficult one. Did he go at it or did he stay back? He had to go. This allows Broughton a bounce inside 50. Good ball, Main.
That was terrific play by Broughton. Bounced over. Fletcher attacked the ball, which he had to do. He got a bad bounce. Broughton gathered it, had a bounce, and he looked up, and Main was trying to work over Carlisle. He couldn't find space. There's a shocking bounce to Dustin Fletcher, but he didn't rush this kick. He waited for Main to make the correct lead, double backed on Carlisle, and that was a terrific bit of play.
Chris Main has a girlfriend called Kitty Cat, we believe. Unusual, I know. Hard to believe, I know. Truth. Here is Main, 35 metres out, directly in front, and he's got it. Fremantle have kicked 5 in a row in the third.
Well, he's a reliable shot for goal, Chris Main. He's having a terrific night. 4 goals, 17 possessions, 7 marks. He's just had a great work ethic tonight. I've loved the way he's got back a couple of times and helped his defence. It's his best goal-kicking performance against the Bombers. 4 goals straight. He doesn't need a lot of opportunities, Darcy. He doesn't miss many set shots.
Yeah, really, really talented player.
Great reaction from Main on kicking his 4th goal, and Fremantle by 17 points, their biggest lead of the game right now as Monfries sits with the vest.
Well, they've smashed them in the contested possession, plus 10 this quarter. They've just been harder at it than the Bombers in this vital third quarter.
5 Fremantle goals in a row as Jeddah around the corner. Was Hurley initiating the contact? Was he held by Silvani? The umpire said yes.
Yeah, well played.
Both arms are wrapped
from
around
Hurley.
And he can't hold him on that.
There's Jordan Bannister. I heard that. Was saying both arms around, telling Silvani you can't hold him like that. He's been fantastic, Jordan Bannister. There's Carlton play. Kicks 3 goals in the first quarter. Here it is. Held his body position well. Wrapped him around the neck. Correct decision.
Yeah, fair call, Richo, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. There's just no need to wrap your arms around. He had him. He wasn't on the lead.
3 first quarter goals. This is a huge kick for Hurley. Almost point-blank range. 20 out. Drills the goal. Back within 11 points, the Bombers. Four goals to Hurley in a seesawing contest. Fremantle by 11. Michael Hurley in really good touch. This is his best effort for the year. 4 goals here. Great shot of Patterson Stadium. Zach Clark out of the middle to Pavlich.
So the clearance from Zach Clark. We spoke to Aaron Sandilands at half-time. Really exciting when he gets his athleticism going. And there's the big star body in front of Hooker. He's looked dangerous all night tonight, Pav.
Overtakes Doug Wade's games on 268 tonight, does the big fella Pav.
He's just positioned himself perfectly at those centre bounces so that he's the man for a rush kick, and that's why he can take contested marks.
For his third goal, bending left, and now a little bit right. Fremantle get another.
Very nice response from the skipper. The big Pav, good players, get themselves in the right position. It's 12 goals now in his last 3 games. Really hitting a nice patch of form. And I love him playing where he is. 35, 40 metres out from goal. Super dangerous.
The skipper getting it done. 3 goals to him, but more importantly, his side up by 17. He's enjoying the moment there with Nick Lower.
Yeah, that's 13 marks inside 50 in this game so far for Fremantle, the most of the year.
Lovett Murray can go all the way here. The sub, handball to Jeddah. I reckon he should have. In the end, he had the open look at goal, and now, as a result of giving it off to Jeddah, the turnover. McPhee to Pavlich. Just feels like he can beat anyone at the moment, Pav. And there's Howlett.
They're just getting more numbers to the football, Freo.
Ball into Ryder, got a back into Mundy, did well to mark. Jeddah wanted it again, and I don't blame Paddy for not giving it this time.
I reckon Paddy has a chance from here, and I think he likes his options as well. He's taking his time. Go back. Been very quiet tonight, been a disappointing night so far. An opportunity to kick a big goal.
I reckon he can go the journey here, and inside the last minute of the third, it's a must. Paddy Ryder must hoist the ball 55 metres. Kick on the way is an absolute ripper. A big banger. Paddy Ryder in the last 30 seconds of the third has got it back to 11.
And that is what's great about footy. You can have a poor night and you can still impact the game in a positive manner. Love the way he did it. He summed it up. So I'm not going to muck around with a short ball. Take ownership of it. And a big, big bomb gets it back to 11 points. Crucial goal with 30 seconds remaining in the third quarter, Richard.
Massive goal. Just gives them... We know they're a fast-finishing team. They kicked 9 goals in their last outing in the last quarter, so they're well within range, obviously, the Bombers. But that just gives them a little bit of momentum and confidence going into the break at three-quarter time.
Just when we thought it was going to be a low-scoring affair, 11 goals collectively kicked in the first, 7 in the second, and already 8 in the third. And the Bombers a chance to score again in the last 20 seconds of this third quarter. They're down by 11. Lovett Murray, the sub, gave it into Hocking, off to Hurley, 15 seconds, Hurley goals! Unbelievable things happening here at the moment. 5-point lead. Bombers braining them in the last minute.
Great hands from Hocking there, sorry. In close, the modern footballers, the ability to find teammates in tight situations, and that was fantastic.
Michael Hurley's got 5 goals all of a sudden, Richo. 3 in the first quarter, now he's kicked 2 in the third. And Lovett Murray's had an impact. The sub with Monfrey's going off. We raised our eyebrows a little bit. And amazingly, 6 goals, 2 Fremantle have kicked this quarter is their best quarter for the year. Brilliant game. James Hird, he doesn't show much emotion.
Isn't it an emotional game when you see the supporters and Hird, and have a look at the crowd giving it to Thompson. He turns around to the Fremantle supporter and gives him the Thompson glare.
Bit of sledging.
Oh boy, it's all on here, and James Hird.
He's trying to pick it up off the ground.
Oh, we're having a bit of a joke there as well. A little bit of a smile.
He's not careful. Bomber will grab that beer out of his hand
and inhale it.
It's only mid-strength, I think.
And Bomber entertaining the crowd. Three-quarter time siren. Ladies and gentlemen, you cannot go anywhere. This game here is just a 5 5-point margin. Ross Lyon and James Hird will marshal the troops at three-quarter time. Fremantle 14-4-88 lead the Bombers 13-5-83.
For the Bombers, his first bag of 5 at AFL level, Michael Hurley.
There he is, McFarlane in game 200 has got a huge task ahead of him. Lovett Murray, the sub that's been activated for the Fremantle Dockers.
And interesting tonight, high-scoring game, 27 goals kicked. Would not have predicted that coming in to a game over here in the West. We haven't seen a loose man back at any stage for either side. It's been great to watch head-to-head, all-out attack.
Monfries. Cramery not going to get out of there, I wouldn't have thought. Ball spills loose in the end. Olio can't fight it out. We'll have a ball up. Michael Barlow, who has been prolific again here in this game.
He's got Dempsey manning him up at these first 2 stoppages.
Great tap by Dempsey to Watson, but Crowley was wearing him like a glove.
Play on.
Just Reamers, De Boer, Heppel.
Play on, play on.
Heppel wanted to go wide, couldn't quite get there. Stanton to Hardingham, loves the right boot as a whopping kick of the footy. Goes long and deep, Hill coming from about 4 deep. Couldn't get there off hands, Hurley. Little left foot kick around the corner.
He's got the look about him, Michael Hurley, tonight, hasn't he? With the intensity and the energy hitting through the footy. We get excited about him because of the way that he has this real presence in a game. And tonight, as we've pointed out, his first ever bag of 5. You've got Hurley at one end, you've got Pav at the other, who looks equally as dangerous. It's like one of those games that has a chance to go right down to the wire as Ryder takes a very nice intercept mark.
He'll kick this.
And he does. Fletcher winds up with a big long ball just offline to the left-hand side.
Gee, he got the ball there, Dustin, and he looked ahead and there was no one in front of him and his eyes lit up.
Johnson. Wide looking for Barlow.
That's what Bombers will be really looking for. They started the game really well with a lot of possession inside their own forward 50 and their own forward half of the ground. So they're really on high alert here just to make sure that they can keep this footy in and put enough pressure on to finally score.
Funny little duck around on the ruck there by Ryder. No ball by Barlow not going anywhere. There'll be no mark out of that either, I wouldn't have thought. Barlow gets a second attempt this time as it kicked it out of bounds on the full.
Although the Dockers had a great third term, Barlow died out of the game a little bit. Need him back to his ball-winning best to win this game in the last quarter.
Lovett Murray looks lively and likely at the moment, doesn't he? Dempsey, beautiful ball to Jetta. Centre half forward for the Bombers.
You can see Griffin loose there. Just kicked it straight to him.
Long to the pocket, getting back was Paddy Ryder, looking for Hurley.
And that's his direct opponent, and that's the right play from Ryder. He had to get there. Like to have seen him there a fraction earlier. Would have given them more to kick to, but finally got back and gave a contest.
Hands by Lower. Dangerous. I tell you what, Reamers will get onto this and going to come back with a little bit of interest here for the Bombers. He initially thought he had Jetta. Now he goes long and once again looking for Hill. Almost through traffic. Took him on, Ibbotson. Let go of the ball. And that has hit the behind post.
Good tackle from Cramery. A little bit lucky there, Ibbotson. Yeah. Incorrect disposal.
Look, took him on. That's incorrect disposal.
Has to be.
Not sure
unlucky.
That rule exists anymore.
It doesn't. It's gone, that rule.
The only thing that could say there is the ball may have been knocked out in the process of the tackle.
Yeah, benefit of the doubt. Look at this time in forward half. 100% so far to start the final quarter here for the Bombers.
And we've played 4 minutes, so it's a fair specimen. Here's Watson. Put it out in front, gave Hill a chance. Sticks the Dukes out in front and took the mark.
That is an absolutely outstanding kick from Jobe Watson. Summed it up perfectly. He forced David Hill to get to the spot, then he drew the forward into the football. Just a great kick.
Sucked him into the spot, didn't he?
He did. 15 metres out, the perfect spot to put the ball.
Hill can you believe it, to give the Bombers the lead again. Directly in front, hammers it, Essendon lead.
Eighth lead change of the game, as that kick that Richo pointed out was just magnificent. Can you believe Joe Watson, the first half of his career, was derided for being a poor user of the footy, and he's just worked and found a way to make it a strength now. He's an elite kick.
Yeah, I reckon he would have spent so many hours on his kicking. It was a bit of a knock, but outstanding kick now.
Still part of the game, BT, a lot of people are confused with when you're involved in a great passage of play. You find yourself there. Joe Watson, the weapon you can see there. Look at the steely-eyed of the strength and conditioning guru down there.
He would orchestrate those changes. A lot of the interchanges are done by the fitness staff now on timings.
Why wouldn't you? He found a needle in a haystack. He's that sort of bloke. His main attempted pick up there by Howlett, and the Bombers have had all of the play in this quarter so far, and we've played 6 minutes in their forward half of the ground. Remarkable. And now Fremantle through Clancy. We'll get a look.
Freo threw a number behind the ball at that bounce. I reckon they just wanted to try and get the ball into their hands and hold on to it for a minute or so. That's a risky kick.
Low ball by Clancy Pearce was nice. McPhee, have a look at that ahead of McPhee, and he decides to go backwards as a result of what confronted him.
That was all right going backwards, because the next kick allowed Ibbotson, to play on and kick the ball forward.
Pavlich almost got both hands on it. Love it, Murray, just gliding through traffic. Lovely long handball. The overlap here of Hocking had to wait. Awareness to get it on to Paddy. Gee, I reckon Paddy should have gone for home. Then he went Stanton. Had more time than he thought. And it's been paid. Stanton has milked it, and it's been paid. No argument from Mzungu, by the way.
Yeah, the free kick was there. It was a bit clumsy right in the boundary line. He had him just about over the line.
Now have a look where Mzungu's standing to try and stop the spin-around kick there. The banana ball, and McPhee comes in and splits it open.
I think the Geelong and Hawthorn players have that kick better worked out. When you run and play on, the degree of difficulty at pace gets a lot more harder to execute. They just take their time, take 3 or 4 balanced paces, and they tend to kick it better.
I think what they're not doing is they're not turning side on to the goals and heading to the middle of the ground and kicking around. They're playing on and then kicking around the body, which a little more momentum, a little more difficult to do perhaps. Stanton goes inside, horrible kick.
Steve Johnson is probably the best at it. He often only takes one step out, doesn't he? Just sets himself up and has the one step.
And you notice when Stevie does it, he doesn't panic at all. The Essendon players have been rushing it a little bit at the moment. But no need to panic. Just go back a couple of steps to the side and kick it.
He knows he's got 1 or 2 steps, doesn't he? He knows he's got the 5 metres. The umpires set that. And the ball over the top to McPhee. And they've had trouble getting it forward at the centre in this quarter, Fremantle.
Well, Dustin Fletcher's loose. He hasn't got an opponent, and that's not what you want. You'd have to have him manned up.
Silvani. In just his 2nd game of the year for Fremantle here. He's been available, he just hasn't been picked. Over the line is...
I think it's going to be pretty tough to score, BT, in this last 20 minutes. There's a number behind the ball now for the Dockers. McPhee.
McPhee's the loose, isn't he? Richo and Fletcher at the other end. I think that's a big win for the Bombers. Dustin Fletcher, almost the least.
Great handball by Watson. Out of the traffic. Hardingham has given a real opportunity for Dempsey. He gathers on the wing. The bounce, the kick to Hill is precise.
Worked his way nicely into this game, David Hill. Starting to get better and better.
Here comes Hurley in the pocket. He ignores that. And Hurley was always 2-on-1, so good decision. Hardingham retreats to Fletcher.
Well, you can see they've got loose players the other side of the ground. They're going to work it all the way around. Heppel's down the line.
Gives it back to Hibbert. Hibbert's got time to think, and look at this. They've found one wide here. It's Dyson Heppel. Heppel on the left. And the kick in the end didn't go at it to Olio. Now McPhee.
Well, the Bombers had loose players outside their 50, but the Dockers had loose players inside of it.
Crozier to Mundy. Mundy to open space. Now Lower's got to beat 4 Bombers who are converging on the ball here. Surely it'll be a Bombers win. It is. To Hibberd. Needs to be good with the kick, and he is not. Mark taken by Pitt, the sub. Here's Lockie Neal. Little one over the top to Pavlich, who marks. Now this is the spot. I call it the vortex flank.
Why's that?
Well, the players practice from here, in particular the Eagles, because it's their home end, Richo.
It's close to their change rooms.
But they do a lot of practicing. I'm not sure Fremantle would do too much from there.
So what are you saying? You think that he's a good chance to kick this?
There seems to always be a little bit of a tailwind in this kick. I think the distance won't be a problem at all. Oh, he's really kicked it high and horrible. He's given it the 9-iron shank style.
He gave you nothing then, Pav.
Gee, Pav, that was horrible. Embarrassingly horrible.
It's embarrassing
for both of us. That's it.
The vortex.
Oh, gee.
Vortex in your
vortex.
head,
Oh,
Gee
Big
whiz.
T, that's your best yet.
No, you'll learn about that, which I know you're new to Patterson's. You ran around here like a... Shook the head, it's cut off, but anyway, here's Myers. I always get rather defensive when I don't have a win, as you've noticed. McFarlane short to Silvani. Out wide to McPhee. Oh! Hold.
Look at the stress on James Hird's face. Really massive, massive game this is.
Well, they've
both sides.
lost the last 2. Darson, not long before they confront Geelong, Hawthorn, Adelaide. The big teams in the comp as well, so they need this win. They play the Dogs next week. Kick to Hurley. Centre half forward. Crameri, I think, wanted it long. Doubled back on his man McPhee. Double teamed. Good effort. Was he confronted from in front and interfered with there? Crameri reckons he was. And a high tackle against Reimers.
That was a great contest from Crameri. He looked at the umpire. He probably thought he was warranted in maybe getting a free kick then.
Yeah, Ibbotson on to Lower. Long handball to Johnson. Plenty of time to Johnson to sum this up. He tried to thread the needle. That was always an impossible kick to make.
So the front on contact is what we're looking at there.
He sort of disguised it well, McFarlane, but he didn't look at the ball at the same time.
Marginal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Back to Hibberd. Hibbert's found Hooker. Trying to spread them here, the Bombers. Gee, Hooker's advised not to take on Main in the athletic stakes, I wouldn't have thought. Myers magnificently around the corner. Look at that. It was coming at real speed. De Boer involved now is Lower. Should have gone up the middle then. He elected to go wide to Clark. Clark to Crowley. Watson and Crowley tangle. He's got his mate Fletcher inside. Clever little tap. Fletcher needs to be precise. Magnificent kick, Dustin. Myers put the hands out, couldn't hold the mark. Lower to Clark. Great smother, Howlett. There is Lockie Neal around the corner. Waste no time. Pavlich, only man that flew in the end. Off hands, Hardingham.
He probably should have gone to Main outside of 50 then. Just blazed away to Pavlich in a contested situation.
Hibberd not scared of the corridor. Melksham, who's been quietish tonight, looks wide to Paddy. Paddy's marked it. 52 metres out. What does he do?
Well, he had Crameri on straight away. He didn't go to him. He probably has to wait now.
Kicks it long and high to the square. Gee, I tell you what, I reckon he nearly had it covered.
Yeah, he probably just needed to hold that up or put it to the top of the square. Then Crameri was on really early when he first took the mark, and just then he had no other numbers. Could have maybe waited a little bit longer, but they've got them locked in now. Chance to get a repeat inside 50.
Subin looking for Clark in amongst the Bomber players, and he didn't let them down. They were small around him. Well recognised. Zach Clark in the absence of Sandilands. Kicks it down the wing. Fletcher in front. Probably could have marked. Watson says to Olio, get out of the way. Ryder starting to come into the game a little more. A little chippy thing over the top. Found Lovett Murray, gave it to Heppel. Sandwiched in the Fremantle. Double there. And now Melksham has to retrieve. Backwards, conceding ground to Hill. Not a nice example of the kick. Hardingham went at it and won it. Watson did well on the fake kick.
Joe Watson's influence in the last 5 minutes has been enormous.
Dempsey couldn't quite find Hurley. Here's Jeddah. Gathers. Handball back to Lovett Murray. Back to Jeddah. Jeddah looking for someone. Onto Lovett Murray. Got to take on Johnson. Got the kick. Bending back. Not enough.
Great call, Das, about Jobe Watson. Just the class and composure from Jobe Watson to continually find targets. Other players are panicking and just banging the ball in the boot. Jobe's able to hit those targets.
Subin really didn't get that kick. Look at Heppel lining up in the middle. And Hill says, no, I can kick it. And now goes short. Stanton has marked on the lead for the Bombers within range.
Well, there's the frustration. Ross Lyon throws his hands up above his head. They're the little things that really do a coach's head, and particularly one like Ross Lyon. He's so big on making sure you get back defensively and block those spaces. They were able to thread the needle there, and you can see for Ross, that's one he thinks they should have been out of control better.
To give the Bombers a 2-goal lead, Stanton lets it rip. Good-looking ball, but offline in its final moments of flight.
Well, we've spoken about inaccuracy for the Bombers. The last couple of weeks, they have kicked really poorly. 11-16 to go down to the Sydney Swans 2 weeks ago, and 6-16 the week before that, and now at a big stage they're missing ones that they probably should kick.
Well, 1-6 to no score this quarter.
Have not won here on the last 6 attempts, Essendon. They're in front by 7 points.
Well, it's 1-on-1 in front of them now. They've made Fletcher man up on the mark here. Got to get it moving.
Crozier in game 3. On the left to centre half forward. That is a shocker. Dempsey sliding. Mark at centre half back. Inside to Lovett Murray. He can run and go if he wants. He's very careful about the play on. Now, eventually, Pitt makes him go back.
The activated sub, of course, Lovett Murray. Monfries came off just before three-quarter time. He's been good, Lovett Murray.
Dempsey in full flight, can keep going, can get real penetration here. Here's Hurley. Got both hands on it, couldn't hold the mark. Back off to Jeddah. Jeddah right foot snap around the body. Didn't get it all. Kicked it out of bounds on the full.
Well, Essendon aren't capitalising on all the play. They've got this quarter 79% of the game of this quarter in their forward half of the ground, but not finishing off with goals. Very dangerous if Freo are able to go coast to coast and kick one on them.
Yeah, the result is just 1 goal from that at the moment. Is it 1 goal 5 or
1 goal 6?
1 goal 6 it is. They've scored, and now Reamers, little centering ball to Melksham.
17 inside 50s to 3 this quarter.
1 goal 6 quarter. They've owned the footy in this quarter, the Bombers. Jobe Watson says to Melksham, I'm not sure what, but words of advice.
Essendon kicked that goal early and got in front, and then Freo put a number behind the ball, and it's been in Essendon's forward half ever since.
Melksham close to the man on the mark. Goal umpire did not even move.
Jackie Melksham got a new haircut working. Nice little bowl undercut scenario, and he's been able to kick a big goal. Olio comes back on, and that's reward for the effort that they've had. Really like the Essendon skipper, Jobe Watson. Get inside his ear. You can kick this. Go through your routine. Take your time, Jake. The distance isn't a worry. I'll back you in. Great leadership. Great result for the Bombers.
Yeah, you wonder what he said. Just whatever. The appropriate time, wasn't it, as you say, Das, to have a word to a young player in a big moment. And now, Essendon by 13, Richo.
There's a couple of players down there. That was a big hit.
Both of them Fremantle players.
Yeah, Broughton's down, hasn't moved.
And Main, I think it is.
I guess the only saving grace there is it's at the forward end for Fremantle, so won't hurt them just for the moment. Here's Hocking. Jenner can go all the way here, can get it and go. Boy, he dropped it. Now plays on near the boundary line, looking for and finding De Olio. There's the carnage behind the play. Both of those players. Main looks cooked, I reckon.
Yeah, I reckon Broughton's really bad as well.
He looks groggy, doesn't he, Broughton?
Yep.
Both of them are gone. So, waiting to come on a lower and also Pitt. In the meantime, De Olio well within range here. They do not look like they're going to take any further part to me. De Olio for his third goal. Once again, very close to the man on the mark.
Well, they've got to kick 3 goals to win, Freo.
There it is, the collision. Richo and
Main.
Friendly fire, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What do you reckon, Lingy? You've had a close look at them as they come towards you.
Yeah, I'd imagine Main, just from looking at that footage there and looking at him now, is just a knock, but obviously quite a bad knock. I think Broughton's a worry. He looks a bit out of it coming to the bench now. He's not all there, I must admit.
Just Fletcher go the barrel. He let go of the barrel here.
I'd love to see it. If this was at Etihad Stadium,
oh boy,
there'd be jackets waved.
Listen to the crowd. They're winding him up. Not going to get a barrel. Very disappointing, Dusty. Game's too close. We understand. Heppel. Wide to Carlisle, who's pressed down. Little ball over the top. Looking for Myers. Dempsey went and extracted it nicely. Good evasive skills. Kick around the body. Deflected.
Early in this quarter, when the Bombers kicked that first goal and then the Dockers were under pressure, they rolled that loose man back and they've really lost all their momentum ever since then.
So that answers the question for Main. Ankle.
Yeah, interesting to see them strapping over the sock. They haven't got time to cut the other strapping off, so they've just said, let's wrap it up as tight as we can. That's a good result if it's just a little sprained ankle.
Stanton around the corner. Cramery gathers possession. Ibbotson got it all to do. Kept control of the ball whilst under enormous pressure. Mundy went to ground, just got rid of it in the nick of time, and Barlow really should have taken it over the boundary line there. Comes back inside and Hurley marks an error by the Dockers there. Main back on his feet. And Hurley will line up for his 6th goal. Kicked the last 4 of the Bombers. Hurley, big run up. Man on the marks at about 45. Big kick to put them 19 points up. That looks damn good. The Bombers by 19 points.
Well, what a great kick by Michael Hurley, and probably deserves to finish it off. He started the game on fire and now he gets the goal which ices the game for the Bombers. He was terrific at the start of the match. He's died in and out of it in patches, but any time he kicks 6 goals,
don't think it's iced at all yet, Richo, by any means.
21 points.
So Michael Hurley with his 6th goal. Richo, you're saying the game's iced with 2 minutes to go. Done now. 19 points.
Well, I'll have a bet with you if you want.
Oh, no, I'm just asking you. You're the expert.
Yeah, I think it is.
All
but
right.
you can score quickly, but when you haven't scored for the quarter...
All right, then. Here we go with the Bombers. Under 2 minutes remaining. You're probably right, Richo. They have been terrific here in this last quarter, kicking all of the goals. 3 of them. Hurley with his 6th. Reamers cut off from Ryder. Pearce. And I think that'll be an Essendon free there.
They've caught a little throw.
And it might be a Reamers. No, Watson free.
The umpire just saying you handed it to him. You've actually got to make contact with the fist handle, so effectively it's a throw. Joe Watson, this is disposal number 25 coming up for being tagged by just about the best tagger in the game, Ryan Crowley. And the champ has found a way to be super effective. Had an unbelievable year, this man.
Jobe Watson, stuttery run up. Doesn't affect the result. Bombers extend it to 25.
What a great reaction there. Every Bomber, Dusty Fletcher, they've run from full back to get around their skipper. They love him. And this means a lot to Essendon. He's a superstar, this bloke.
How good's that? He nails the goal. That kick to Hill early in the quarter. Just gets better and better, Jobe Watson. Birdie's pretty happy.
There's the free kick, a little handoff throw to De Boer, and that's why Jobe Watson was then able to go back and convert the fourth last quarter goal, and the Bombers now by 25.
I love the celebration from the skipper, and I love the fact every teammate ran the full length of Patterson Stadium to get around him.
Haven't won here in the last 6 attempts. The Bombers. Mzungu goes to the lead of Clark. He's got space on Fletcher. Fletcher's closing speed was good. Ball spills to the boundary line and will be forced over.
Have a look at Fletcher. How's he still doing that? He's nearly 60 years of age. And he still finds a way in the last minute of the game.
Fremantle with just the 6 wins, Das, confront the league leaders Collingwood next week at the G.
Tough ass, that one.
And for the Bombers, the Western Bulldogs at Etihad.
They'll have a pretty tough draw, Freo. 6-6 they will be. They played most of the teams inside the top 8, so the draw does get better in the second half of the season.
First win this will be in June since 2009 for the Bombers.
15 metres from here to here.
It's funny, as soon as Essendon got in front, they put a number behind the ball, and since then they haven't been in the game. When that was one-on-one, the first 3 quarters, they were matching the Bombers with scoring.
Griffin to the right, and the Bombers still have kicked the last 6 consecutive goals of this game. Those last 2 goals in the third quarter, boys, when the 29 and 30 minute mark, there was a minute to go. They were 17 points down, as we see Dusty here. Just a bit of scare tactics with the mouth guard.
Going to throw the mouth guard at your head.
But they were 17 points down with a minute to go in the third quarter, Essendon. Ryder and Hurley kicked goals.
Yeah,
and
it was massive.
It's a good sign, isn't it, for their ability to finish. Last time they played 2 weeks ago, the bye last week, they kicked 9 last quarter goals, nearly the biggest ever come from behind win against the Sydney Swans, and 6 goals away here at Subiaco. It's a great sign for their fitness, and you've got to look to the weapon. He's the man who has got this group up and running.
And there's no doubt they would have known. At 3/4 time, they would have felt super confident. The 2 last goals, knowing they can finish games full of running, you sense that as a team when you know you've got a bit of history of doing it.
Hill in front, and he'll be better for the trot as well. David Hill, so you just wonder what they do now with Bell Chambers and Ryder and Hill as a package of 3, but don't worry about that now, because the Bombers have won here at Patterson Stadium, and they've won by 24 points.